Heard you had some time to kale. I'm Lizzie with Apple Seeds, and today we're gonna make our kale apple salad. Let's harvest some kale. So to harvest kale, you wanna get 2 little pinchers, kind of like a crab. Get your crab pinchers. And what you wanna do is you wanna find your leaf, and then you wanna hold down by the stem, and then hold the stem, and just pinch and twist. And there you have your kale. Now that we're back inside with our hands clean and gloved, we're ready to start cooking. With a recipe like this, you always want to make sure that you have an adult's permission before we start, because we are going to be using some sharp implements like our knife and our grater. So always be sure to ask first. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to take our kale. And so we want to cut our kale into bite-sized pieces. It's easier to rip than to cut, so you're just going to take them and rip them in half, just like that. And then we'll put it in our bowl. And if you have any pieces like this that have a long stem, you don't really want to eat that, so we're going to rip that off and set it aside. And then just keep ripping into little bite-sized pieces, sort of about the size of a chip. Kale is actually a superfood. It's really high in calcium, so if you're lactose intolerant, it's a great way to get that essential nutrient. And it's also really high in antioxidants that are great for your blood and your immune system. Next up is our apple. So the first thing you want to do is set it firmly on your cutting board. As you can see, it has a tendency to kind of wobble a little bit, so you want to make sure you're really holding it down. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take your knife and your claw, and you're just going to cut chunks off around the core. And then we're just going to take our chunks and cut them into bite-sized pieces that big. And then we'll just gather them all up and put them in our salad. And now we've got our carrot. So our recipe calls for about a cup of shredded carrots. So that's roughly 2 medium-sized carrots, about this size. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your carrot, you're gonna cut the tip off, and then, so it's easier to grate, we're gonna cut our carrot in half. So then you'll take your first half of your carrot, grab your grater. We're gonna use this big size because we want a nice chunk of our carrot, and then you're gonna hold it using your claw. What do you call an angry carrot? A steamed vegetable. So carrots are packed with beta-carotene, as you might guess, which supports your eye health and your immune system. So you only want to grate to your comfort level, so you can see that my fingers are starting to get close, so I'm going to stop and set that aside, and I'm done with that piece of carrot. So now we're going to add our shredded carrot to our salad. Want to see a magic trick? Ta-da! Let's make our dressing. So we're just going to combine all of our ingredients into this mason jar here. Some white wine vinegar, but you can substitute any vinegar you have. Some Dijon mustard, a little bit of honey for some sweetness, and then a mix of spices. We're using garlic, salt, and pepper, and it looks like I forgot an ingredient, kitchen elf, and some olive oil. We're just going to put the lid on and shake it all together. Let's add our dressing. I can't wait to eat this. Thanks for joining us. See you guys next time.
If you enjoyed this video, you should subscribe to Apple Seeds on YouTube for more recipes and fun on the farm.